All right, we are live. Hello, hello, hello. It's Tamika of Love Inspire Teach E. Pardon me. Wow, I tell my kids to come get this dog because Thursday podcast is most likely going to have a kid around. So, yeah, and trying to set up a behind the scenes. We're missing a couple folks today. We're not really sure if Juana's coming back, which is fine. But we do have the wonderful, gorgeous, and well-talented. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Well, whatever. She is talented. Tai joining us for the newest podcast, which is Sisterly Love. So I'm gonna let Tai go ahead and introduce this one while I try to set this stuff up. Oh, my camera's not on. Let me turn that on. There. All right.
So we're going to call the podcast on Thursday, Sisterly Love, where we will talk about sisterly and that are not sisterly. So I'm pretty sure everyone has had a chance of being around somebody you thought was your sister, and they turned out to be, found out they were not. Today I'm not talking about Greek life. I'm just talking about being sisterly, period.
Yeah, and that can cover a lot of arenas in life because, we are sisters at work, we're sisters at church, we're sisters to our immediate family, we're sisters to people who've just become a strong part of our life. And it has its ups and its downs. Some people are in your life for a season, right? We talked about that on the last podcast on Tuesday, actually, right?
A lifetime, a reason, season, or a lifetime. And sometimes we don't recognize the signs until it's too late and it has went too far. The disrespect has gone too far.
But we're going to try our best to be somewhat positive, but it's not an easy topic, y'all. I don't think it's going to be an easy topic at all.
Especially after the week I done had.
And me too.
But
finally, I got my camera to turn around.
What you mean? Turn around?
I couldn't get the live camera to turn around. I feel weird without lipstick on, but whatever.
Girl, you gotta grab you some lip gloss.
Oh, I have lipstick. It's just I would have to get up to go get it. So I'm gonna put you on screen solo then.
All right. So as we wait for Tamika to come back, like I said, there are very different sisterly things that you can do. You may have a girlfriend say, let's go to the beach, let's go out to eat, let's do this, let's do that. Me, frankly, growing up, I chose not to hang around a lot of females, and there's a reason that I don't.
My dad always told me women are catty creatures, and I had 4 brothers, so the main woman I was around was my mother. So.
And with that, I have learned that some people that I let into my circle were only meant to be us for a season.
I don't you learn that all the recently you feel, or you've always known that?
I've always known it, but I don't try to be mean. Everybody say I look mean, but that's not it. It's a defense mechanism. But I used to help a friend out for years. I didn't have to do it. But I did it out of the kindness of my heart. But then I started to notice when the pandemic hit, you start to see people's true colors when they are stuck in the house. Um, they not really, not conversing like you used to, or whatever the case may be. You start to see the BS that they are on. So I was harassed by what they call electronic devices. So I had to file a report on that. And then today, 2 years later, I had to file another one.
Yeah, but explain to them the difference in reports, though. I think that's important to
So
distinguish.
you could file a report and take it to court where you can have a civil order of protection, or if it's domestic. So once I get this second report, I'm going to go to the courthouse by me, and I'm going to have it filed along with the other papers that I have too. I'm getting too old to be dealing with this. Um, calling from different numbers, sending text messages from anonymous numbers. I just don't, that's not me. And this person obviously don't have nothing to do with their life.
So in preparation for this podcast, and also Tai Tai and I have gotten closer through the pandemic. We went through virtual day parties. Shout out to the whole virtual day parties crew. But she helped me out ever since she helped me out with the Silver Room Block Party. It's just been taken to a new sisterly level, right? I definitely felt virtual day parties. There was its own version of family for me when the world had to love on each other virtually, right? And what I'm hoping she's okay with me sharing is that, we everybody has issues, everybody has problems, but and Tai Tai's volunteering this weekend, like she said, at the Black Women Expo. She has health concerns, right? And I don't think it's fair for your sister friends to add stress to your life when they know you have these health issues that are quite serious as well. So I just want to add that to what she's talking about. And when Kira, Tai Tai, and I were discussing how we wanted today to go and this particular podcast to go, I had mentioned to her, I've gotten a restraining order before. I've fought a restraining order before, and I've been denied a restraining order before. So I'm very, unfortunately, very familiar with restraining orders. Now, the one I was denied was in a totally different state. So if you follow me on my personal Facebook page, you'll understand where that was coming from. And it was a family member, so I know that they they view that a little differently, right?
All
The
right.
one I fought and won against, again, against a family member, and I can't recall 100% why the judge denied it. That one was the one that was denied against me was for my father who raised me. And it actually didn't have to do with the judge thinking it was too long. They thought it was basically frivolous because I can't barely keep track of that man's schedule as it is, and he was doing dirty things. So nobody could keep track of his schedule. But regardless, if someone is mistreating you, you try your best to address it in a civilized manner. You try your best, like Tai Tai and I have talked. Nobody wants to go to court. Nobody wants to be bothered. Nobody wants to feel like they're going to put someone they cared about in a difficult position, right? But they're forcing your hand. And when push comes to shove, you've got to protect your peace at all costs. That is sisterly love, right?
Yeah. So I have been put in a situation that I really don't want to have to go there, but I'm gonna have to,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not okay with it
You have to
because
be. Me and Kira were telling her, girl, do it. You have to for yourself. I don't care if you're not okay with it. We're okay with it for you, and we will support you through it because there is unacceptable behavior going on. And for her to think that us girls who grew up in the suburbs don't know how to code switch, we can get about it if we need to. And I may not be a FOIA carrier, but I know what to do. I do.
you're so silly.
I'm just telling the truth. and call somebody that can carry a gun. She knows people. Shoot, if you're black, you most likely know somebody that can handle some stuff for you,
True.
right? I'm just
Most
saying.
definitely. Most definitely.
Just saying. So
So
stop messing with her.
all day today I have been on the phone talking to this person, that person, um,
Handling business like you should.
filing reports, and I'm tired. I'm like, I am really, really tired and drained about this situation. It has drained the hell out of me. This shit has been going on for 2 fucking years, and I'm tired. I'm at that point. I'm tired.
Do you think 2 years is too long? Because I personally think you let it go a little too long.
Well, I mean, when, like I said, I'm not a mean person. I do care for people. But when you show me who you are, you best believe Tyrena gonna fucking believe it. That's what the saying goes. When they show you who they are, believe it. And this person ain't shit. And if
And
you're treating me like this after all I've done, mm-mm, I'm
and
over it.
and especially where she met this person, it's just
Then
hypocrisy.
I say,
And I didn't say. I said it's hypocrisy and throwing stones at glass houses. And I also want to piggyback on her saying people talking about women with the mean mug. I mean, if you've been in any major city, including Chicago, if you've gone to Jamaica, some of them people are inappropriate, especially the men talking about we mean mugging. Well, we have to because some of y'all think that just because we're women that look good walking down the street, you can catcall, you can talk to us any old type of way.
right,
No, that is unacceptable. So we mean mug to, again, like she said, it's a protection tool. We have a defense mechanism because you never know what could happen. And the pandemic certainly showed us, whew, it showed us some brand new colors. I
hmm.
just truly feel I was even myself shocked at some of the things that happened during the pandemic. Okay.
Well, you know what? I have gotten to the point where it doesn't shock me anymore. Um, I try to deal with it in the way that I can, but now it's like it's making me sick. Like I can't eat. I'm having trouble sleeping. And then plus on top of that, I have other issues going on that I need to handle. And it's not enough time in the day and not enough hours in the week for me to do it.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I'm over this shit.
As you should be. And I would say to anyone who's in a similar situation, if you feel alone, find someone you can reach out to that maybe can support you and answer any questions you might have or just guide you because it's too much to bear alone. Um, it, you should get regular rest. You should be able to live freely without always looking over your shoulder, watching your back, or worrying. Like for me, sometimes with the people I have to consider getting a restraining order against, again, I have to consider it. I don't like that I hesitate to check my phone now because I'm reluctant to deal with hate. And this idea for this podcast, it's funny how it truly came about because we knew as women of different personalities, we were going to have to learn how to operate with each other, especially in this newish space for us podcasting. Like it's still new to me. I just started the other podcast, the Tuesday podcast. So check out LITE Fire Starters in April. So, and I was on another podcast that was on last night not I wasn't on last night's episode, but I'm just saying that's where I was introduced to podcasting. And it's not as, I don't know if I look comfortable, but I'm not always comfortable because I talk about things that are interesting but challenging, you know. Um, and to get back to what I was saying about how this all came about, Kira, who's supporting her daughter tonight,
Okay.
was saying that we need to not deal with messy stuff because we've had a lot of messy stuff happen through this summer. I don't know if it was summer. I don't know if it's the pandemic. I was thinking the pandemic's ending is still here. But her comment was she was thinking Black women being able to come together and work cohesively together without being messy and getting into one's feelings. So if you really think about all that she said there, feelings are where the messiness arises, right? And I encourage Tai Tai all the time. I encourage my daughter. I encourage people I meet to not take things personal as hard as it is. Trust me, I take things personal. Y'all know I take things personal. So it's not that I'm saying something that I think is easy to do, but when I give myself enough time, I am able to take a step back and say, okay, hold on. All right, what am I not thinking about? You know, there are the things you don't know, there are the things that you don't even know you don't know, and there's the things you know, right? So take those into consideration. But when you have a set boundary, and this is the other thing Tai Tai and Kira and I talked about, and I think even Juan on that other podcast we did talked about, you have to have boundaries. So if you're approaching a boundary, know that you're gonna have to prove that you're willing to draw that line in the sand. So I don't know if you agree with that or what your thoughts
It's
are.
true. It's true, especially amongst us Black women. We have to uplift one another instead of us tearing each other down.
But do you think it's even? I hesitate because I don't even think it's just about Black women. I think
Well,
it's
it's. I mean, from my standpoint, I would say that it is the Black women. I haven't heard any other race say any of something else other than, you know, from, stories I've heard, but it's been Black women. It could probably be going on with all races. And
it
I'm pretty
is
sure it
because
is.
I can tell you right now, there's a couple people I went to high school with that they either muted me, unfriended me, took a break from me. But I really don't check those things or verify those things. But I experienced
And what nationality
bullying.
are they?
What'd you say?
What nationality are they?
White. Where their viewpoint, and this it had a lot to do with politics, okay? But people I grew up with, right? Where I had to stand my ground and say, no, that's not okay. I mean, it's people who like get upset that I have a Black son. So when it comes to Black Lives Matter, I don't like when people say Blue Lives Matter too. I'm like, nobody said they don't. We're, you don't come to the cancer fundraiser, the breast cancer fundraiser, talking about prostate cancer. I mean, you can, but it's a side conversation. You don't try to take away from the fundraiser and its focus, right?
Hmm.
So it's not just our community, although I do think our community has been raised to be pretty harsh with one another, unless you were raised a different way. But it happens across the board. So I was really hesitant to pigeonhole it into just Black women. I have Black women experiences too that were pretty rough. When we prepped for this, I literally sent the ladies a text message thread from a very recent former coworker where I was like, I don't even want to respond. I don't have the energy. I don't work there anymore. And she's young and immature. So I don't think she's receptive to what I have to say. And that's the other thing. If people are not receptive, why waste your breath?
Exactly. So I'll Google sisterly love. And the definition says a woman's sisterly feelings are the feelings of love and loyalty which you expect a sister to show. I think I have a problem with the expect
Mm-hmm.
because should I expect you to, be trustworthy and loyal to me? Should I?
Did you? everyone's going through things. So I feel like if you're really close to that person and you talk to them regularly, sure. So in the instance you're talking about, I absolutely feel that was a set expectation. Now, if there are people who you've ignored flags occasionally, I don't know that you should have that expectation. I think you failed to adjust your expectations.
Sure. Okay. I don't know. I guess when I saw the expect, I was just like, hmm, is that something that now, since the pandemic hit, do I expect people to, you know, give me the loyalty and the trust that I deserve because I've gave it to them? Or should I even let them into my tiny itty bitty circle that I have? Um, so that's one thing that
But I think there has to be a mutual agreement as well. And this is again where communication is key, and where I think the pandemic created a wormhole or a gap in communication because we relied so much on a computer, on a Zoom, on a Microsoft Teams, on Facebook Live, on a text message, on a FaceTime. And some things need to be said face to face, and some things don't need to be done electronically. And I think that's where people hide behind the computer screen or hide behind the phone screen and aren't honest with you or themselves. And that's where I find the difficulty lies. Because if I see you in real life and in person, are you going to be genuine? Are you faking the funk? And I feel like that's what happened when we started to open back up, is I started to see who was faking the funk.
yeah. Um, Usually I'm a little bit more perky than this, but today has really drained me. So, let me see.
Let's do a little commercial break because we're 22 minutes in. Um, you definitely want to go ahead, like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, check out the Love Inspire Teach E website to support us women, to help us grow. Again, let's support one another. We're talking about messy situations, but I also feel a lot of messy situations stem from you're dealing with stuff behind the scenes and you've got a mess you're hiding in your house, and your edges are starting to show. It's starting to seep out, and you get messy with people. And I have compassion for those, but I'm going to check you too. Just because I got messed too. And you don't want me to take my mess out on you, so why are you taking your mess out on me?
It's a good way to say it. I promise you that's a good way to say it.
But if I took my mess out on you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It does happen. Trust, it happens. I know people who've done it to me and come back to me later in life and said, I was really going through a lot. I'm really sorry for what I did. But the scar is there. And that's the hard part. The scar is there. And how fast is it going to fade?
Right. But, sisterhood is something.
Well, you're a Greek, so I feel like they teach y'all a whole nother level of it that I've never
True, but,
pursued being
we've
Greek. So,
always been taught that everybody will be your soror, but everybody won't be your sister.
oh, okay. That was taught, like it said explicitly, or as you were researching it, something.
No, that's the. Hmm.
Hmm.
But,
But do you have actual sisters though, right? Because I don't.
yeah, I
Yeah,
have sisters. They're older than me. I'm the baby. The one that's we're 10 years apart. She just moved back to Iowa, and I'm like really. So now
Why do
she's
you
back
say
there
that?
because she was. We would talk every day. Um, she
So
would
you're
FaceTime me
disappointed.
on her. Yeah, in a way, I am.
But is it something she needs to do?
We'll talk about that later.
But I'm
It
just
needed to be done, but I just feel like it should have been a decision she made.
okay. So I
If
talked
she
about
listening, sorry. Not sorry.
no, like I took us down that road, but we actually talked about. So you have your current situation you were dealing with today. I briefly mentioned a situation with an ex coworker, and part of me is like, I just want to be done with it. But it was so funny because when I finally took the time to actually read what all they had to say in their anger, because again, what people say in anger, I feel like I have to take with a grain of salt as well. Because in anger, you're just going to say any old thing because you're lashing out. And some people take it for fact. And I don't know that it's necessarily always fact what someone says in anger. I think it might be how they're feeling in the moment. But when they calm down, they can probably refute everything they said in anger in their own head with specific examples, even though they were angry.
Yeah,
And
I've done that before. I've said something out of anger, and then once I've calmed down, I realized that it could have been said way differently. It could have been handled in a different way.
yeah. And I struggle with owning that a lot because I like to live in the moment and I like to be authentic, but I struggle with having to backpedal. I hate having to backpedal. I hate feeling like I feel like if I backpedal, I'm not owning what I said and what I'm about. But I totally agree. There are different ways to say things and I could have done better. So I'll always be willing to say I could have done it differently. But in that moment, that was the best I had.
Right.
So
Definitely. It's true.
what did I tell you about talking to me during this? Come get some more if that's what you want. I apologize. I told y'all on Thursdays I will have mommy duty, whether it's one child or both.
Yeah, it's okay. It's life.
Yeah, it is life. And I feel like the other thing I've noticed when it comes to sisterly love, those that already are done raising their kids, I feel like most of them, not all, will give a little more grace. I feel like those that don't have kids, that don't get what it's like, they don't give any type of grace. They give zero fucks. They just call you out like you don't wish you could go everywhere, be everywhere, and just do whatever. And that bothers me because I'm like, hey, one day you're gonna sound like you have Tourette's every time you have a phone conversation too. And I'm not knocking anyone with Tourette's. I promise you, I'm not. That's a real condition or whatever. I've just heard that analogy used before. But I'm just saying you're gonna get it one day when you're like, look, she needs to focus on home and I need to stop begging her attention. Or I need to let her handle that and wait patiently, as annoying as that may be, or as funny. Sometimes these kids funny. As funny as it may be. And you're not supposed to laugh either if we're trying to teach them a point. Because we may be wanting to laugh, but we're doing our best to hold it in sometimes. If you're a parent, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I just feel the generational gaps or the life experience gaps have been heightened and very frustrating lately. Where I'm like, I know you don't have any kids, but I need you to understand this is a lot. They got 50 bazillion things on the calendar. I don't just get up and go at the last minute. It just don't work.
Exactly.
I got to get a sitter, or I got to ask a daddy, or I got to do something.
But
I don't
sometimes
like
you
them
make
both
it happen.
at the same time usually, and sometimes I really don't like them at all. But I try my best because I've been praying on it. I do. I do like your dad. He's awesome sauce. He's very helpful. Okay, bye bye. You need help. I'm gonna let Ty Ty be on this camera right now. You're welcome. You see how I did that? Oh, how come it went on me? I was trying to put it on
Just
you.
left.
I don't know. I don't understand what
That's
happened.
not sisterly.
I wasn't trying. You know, my computer is actually moving ridiculously slow. Everything I've tried to type as a banner.
It's a joke.
Oh, but you saw how he tried me, right?
Girl, he was like, "Do you like me?" That
Like,
goes to show you that them ears is soaking up everything, honey. You don't like me?
I really wanted to tell him, and I will tell him later when we have debrief at bedtime. I don't have to like everybody 100% of the time. It will go up and down. But on for this purpose and him doing me like that, I was like, mm-hmm. Everything in my face was like smiling.
It was funny though, because he was just like, "You don't like me?"
No, he's talking about his dad. He said, "Do you like my daddy?" Hey.
Back to
Yes, back to sisterly.
sisterly things. What else?
These kids. Okay, wait. I had more than one example though. So I sent you the text message. I didn't want to go into that one. Oh, so the one we're really trying to avoid. Okay, let's just say I think we have to touch on it. Like religion and its influence on your life is really intriguing to me. Now, I'm Catholic, I'm a Black Catholic, but I didn't confirm until I was in my 20s, okay? And I pushed myself into confirmation because I thought I was getting married. But I also did it because I was having to cut ties with my family again. And it felt like with 98% of the Philippines being Catholic, I would understand them better if I went into that faith more. But my mom raised us to believe God hears your prayers wherever you are. I went to a lot of non denominational churches. A lot of those non denominational churches they would pick were heavily Baptist influenced. And then I went to school in the South. A lot of Baptists, like Baptist belt for sure. And so when I went to church in college, because my friend who would drive us, he preferred a Baptist church. But my roommate from college is Muslim to this day. She married a Christian, and I've had Jehovah's Witnesses in my house. I have their Bible. They gave me a different version of Bible. It's not King James and whoever else. It's different. Um, so I like religion.
You
I
got the Book
believe
of
in God.
Mormons too?
Hmm.
You got the Book of Mormons?
I don't have that one yet. I have to be honest. After watching Sister Wives, I don't care to know a ton about the Mormons. I like that they go on the mission, the 2 year mission, right? That's the one.
Yeah, they send them on like a 2-year mission, and to this day, I don't know if it's to recruit people or it's. I guess it's kind of like missionary work. You going out, you know, speaking the gospel of God. I would say less because their Bible is totally different from the King James version.
But the Bible is the most read book worldwide, though. I've always found that very intriguing.
Right, but the Book of Mormon's Bible is, girl, you are delayed because I thought you were saying something to me. You wanted me to read your lips, but the King James version and the Book of Mormon's Bible is different. It's like the names are not like Genesis. Girl, I can't Genesis through Revelation. It's not like that. They have different names. So when they gave me one, I looked at it and I was like, er? What is this?
Mm-hmm.
So I actually it's somewhere around here, but I never picked it up again. So like the only ones I'm familiar with is the King James version. Um, if I want a better understanding, I may go to the New International version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes those arts and thous and It's another one. I get confused. I be like, I need something else to make me understand this plain and simple. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, that's that on when it comes to Bibles and things like that.
But I'm sad Kira's not here to speak for herself, so I hope she's going to be okay with this. But she mentioned that one of the challenges she faces with attending church is she believes God and God loves God, but she doesn't want to go to church with the hypocrites. And I go to church with whoever because I'm there for God. I get all dressed up and good looking for God, and I get looked at church.
Yeah,
And
because you be overdressed.
no. I
And
go to
be jeans.
Black Catholic church. I go to Black Catholic church. They still dress about Black Catholic church. That's part of why I like Black Catholic church. When you go to regular Catholic church, Roman Catholic church, you can come however you are. And I like that too. But part of the fun is if I went out on Saturday night, I feel really guilty rolling out of bed looking like a bum in church. I do. Like, well, God, I'm gonna get dressed up for you too. Don't worry. Just saying.
I mean, when I go to church, I'm not gonna dress up, but I ain't looking like no bum either.
I mean, I do what I need. I go to church because I need a place of peace and where I'm gonna feel good about myself. And I do feel better about myself when I'm dressed looking good. But I didn't dress looking good for you in that church pew to look, and I didn't dress for that man on the street to, I did it for me and God, right? And when we talk about sisterly love, I have to say, I love the church women who are like, girl, that looks good on you, or oh, I love your outfits, or you look good. And I know they mean it. Now, the ones that be looking at you sideways are like, it's hot outside, but in church, your shoulders should be covered. And you're like, the hell? I'm at church. I can come. My church says I can come as I am. So I agree in the regards of is it sisterly and brotherly even to I feel like I'm at judgment day in this pandemic half the time. No, because people always got something to say. Like people got real loose with their mouths lately and feel like, oh, the world has disrespected me and I couldn't go out and I was on lockdown and now I'm free. And I'm like, dude, we were trying to save the world because it was looking rough for a hot second. And that's the hard part for me. I'm like, how do I deal with like this commentary, unsolicited feedback, unsolicited
Is this, are
criticism.
you talking about in the church
I'm talking
or
about generally speaking, and it does happen at church. So I brought up church because um, I just feel like the thing I want to talk about without being specific because there's too many details and other podcasts and stuff. I just don't like the weight that the notions and the ideals of like different faiths how they've impacted you,
right?
how they've hurt a really good friendship. Like I'm sad, but I'm not too sad. But it's not that I'm unbothered. It's just I'm also kind of like, what can I do? I feel like I've done what I'm supposed to do.
You guys need to talk.
Ah, if I'm calling you, well, I'm supposed to go knock on the door. That's almost harassment, but and probably not. But
You
still,
text.
I did a couple times, but and then the things I said today that were neutral, it's like still no response. And then you say you're gonna support, right?
Did you send her an invite?
I sent it in the group thing. I have to send the individual one.
To be honest, I didn't see her name on there.
It was in the three-way one too. The actual link was in the three-way one.
Um,
Unless my phone's speaking again, I have been having technology issues. So again, give people grace. Cause the way and the way my technology got messed up from jump, y'all don't even want to know. We could talk about that sisterly love too.
that's
People,
not sisterly.
how is that not sisterly? I'm saying if someone comes to you with, okay, situation is someone's coming to you with something that was told to them trying to verify facts, and you're behind silent. It's your opportunity to speak. That's not sisterly for me to come to you like, look, I want to ask you directly.
You said what?
I said it's not sisterly for me to go to that person directly and say, "Hey, I was told this. I'm verifying facts, but I'm coming to you to ask you." That's not sisterly. I think it's not sisterly to give
It's
no response
sisterly, but
whatsoever.
from the way things happen, it seemed like on both ends, y'all both were going through something, and y'all both need to sit down and hash it out.
Again, how can I hash something out with someone who's on blinders, horse blinders, whatever? They're like this, like, I don't want to. I've got too much going on. I got stuff going on too, but I don't shy
Well,
away from.
why do you say she has blinders on?
Because if I've reached out to you multiple occasions individually with the person involved and said, "Hey, you know, I'm sorry because I was lied to." What more can I do? I can't force a woman to sit down with me. So how is, like, that's again, where is the sisterly love of just saying woman to woman, um, you know, female to female? Yeah, that this is a messed up situation, but how do we approach this? How, and I'm trying to be, again, one of those situations where, like, damn, I could have worded it a little differently. I was a little hot, but at the same time, like, how do we talk about this with big girl panties on? Especially if that person is like absolutely stone cold silent. To
I have
me,
to get back to you on that.
huh? But to me, but they'll talk to someone
No,
else.
because I'm thinking,
Like they'll talk to someone else. Like, for example, I'm not saying, but it could be you, or they'll talk to. I'm like, I'm the person you should be talking to, though. I got facts for you. I got receipts. Just saying.
this whole receipt thing is getting out of hand.
In
I
this,
mean, I've talked to her through text, but it wasn't about the situation.
but I'm saying, how did you get to that point, but not me? You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Well, I kind of was thrown in it.
you were, but my point is, you never should
I
have.
was, you didn't let me finish.
What did I tell you while I'm podcasting? Figure it out. Go ahead, Ty. Ty.
I was kind of thrown in it, but I haven't had a chance to try to figure out what to do about it.
Hey, at least you have a way to text. I'm not. And here's this other thing. I'm not the type of person when people want to claim someone's messy. I won't ask for someone's number if they didn't give it to me themselves. Like I could go about getting stuff, but I shouldn't have to do that. You know, like
Well, who said something about messy? Because you and Kira, when I got to the text group, I was just like, oh,
what do you mean messy as
wow.
far as what? Like
Who,
I've heard this messy label thrown around a lot lately, especially by young people. Young people love to throw around the word messy. And but I can tell you some of them people we know in our circle, they like to use that word messy, and I'll be like, I'm honest and I don't hide stuff. So I think it's messier when you hide stuff and pretend like your shit don't stink, or like, there's a fire in that building. We pretend there's no fire. We're pretending there's no fire. Right there? Oh, okay. That's not my nature. I'm gonna call 911.
ooh,
I'm just saying, some people will be like, I don't want to be like someone who posted up talking about don't call me in an emergency. Who, you not a friend? If I can't call you in an emergency, you were never my friend. Talking about don't bring your emergencies to me. What kind of new age mess is this?
because a lot of people, and I've had that done to me too, They don't. They may call or text,
They only call
but
when
they
there's
never
an
start off with "How you doing? How you feeling?" It's just
emergency.
like, "Bam, this is what's going on." Um, so it's basically they like they're using you as a trash can to dump all of their stuff, and
What
then
the fuck?
when things are better, you don't hear from them. So I mean, I totally understand that. It depends on that person is set up, like when it comes to different things that's going on, if that makes sense. Are they able to handle it? Some people are not able to handle other people's garbage. So I know I can only handle so much when it comes to um, listening to other people's problems. When it start getting to the point where it's unbearable, I'll be like,
Let me jump in though. That I feel like that's an important distinction to make. Again, we talked about know what type of people are around you. Are they your friend? They your acquaintance? Are they truly your sister? Are they there for a reason, for a season? And if you know that person is the type that they only call when they want something, they're a taker. They're not. There's no balance to it. They're not a giver and a taker. Then yeah, that's valid. But I also think like when something's extreme, like let's say you think someone's suicidal, are y'all really? I know this person is always extreme, but they're clearly over the edge now. Are we really gonna look at this person standing at the edge of the bridge and be like, "Ho hum, let me keep walking"? Remember that Chris Leslie Chrisley or whatever, beautiful woman on TV. Come to find out, she had severe depression, and she was the Miss Universe. She was like one of the first Black Miss Universe. Jumped off a building, and she hit it so well. Now, not everyone is as good at hiding it, and most people don't want to commit suicide. They'll normally scream out for help. And if it's one of those people that have a lot of issues and you were over it, but if you sense they're like really on edge, I'm never gonna be that person that is gonna be like, you called me too many times. I'm gonna be like, yo, this time are we for real, for real? Because if you're on some bullshit again, I'm gonna redirect you. But for real, like, do we need to go to the hospital? I'm that person.
right. I mean, it's certain keywords that you have to keep an open ear for. Suicide. Um, I'm thinking about hurting somebody else, hurting myself. Um, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Those are like words that should stand out to you when they're talking to you.
But some people put the earplugs in and they're so done that, and that person has had so many issues. And I feel like the disconnect is people don't realize how bad this pandemic was for some people. Like you said, like there, you saw people's true colors, but you also got to see they had a whole bunch of stuff you never knew was going on. For some of those Zooms, you got to see in people's houses where you're like, that they living nice. But did you know they were going broke and they were overspending and they were facing foreclosure? Or did you know that, she has multiple siblings, and out of all the siblings, there's only two normal ones and everybody's always coming. I was okay, so I have kids. And that what was the movie about, we don't Encanto, and we don't talk about Bruno. And then there's this song about the pressure, the sister who's like strong.
Mhm.
And that song came on today, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, I could relate to this song more than I ever realized, because I've never had enough time to sit down and fully watch Encanto from beginning to end, even though it seems like a really cool Disney movie. But that sister was like, everybody just gives everything to me. I'll bend, but I won't break, and it's okay. I can take everything. I completely related to that because I was like, yeah, everybody dumps on me talking about you're so smart, you can figure it out. And then when I don't, they're like, oh, I thought you were so smart. The hell?
That don't have nothing to do with smart, baby.
Whether these are just words I'm saying, there are.
Right, but I'm just saying when stuff like that, that does not have smart. Don't have nothing to do
It
with
has to do with the weight.
anything.
It has to do with the weight, which to me, the weight translates to hate. So we're talking about sisterly love. What's the opposite of love? It's this hate, this you're deflecting and pushing off your issues, your problems onto someone who's like struggling themselves. And why do we do that? So I think that was we got 10 minutes left to debrief. But I
But
feel
I
like
mean,
that's kind
if
of
you
what we were
really,
trying to get at with this podcast, right? Or
it's just like if you're gonna be a friend, be that friend. If you not, kick rocks.
Hmm?
Just don't be there lingering. I said, if you're gonna be a friend, be that.
Type it in the chat for me, in the comments. I'm sorry for me because I can't. This computer is not working properly. But I agree with that whole kick rocks. Like I'm definitely at that point in my life where I have no problem telling a person to kick rocks. Mm-mm. I want my sister girlfriends. Like I don't want a sister wife. I don't want that. But sister girlfriends. Remember how everyone loved that TV show Girlfriends? Or even when you think about living single, I'm sorry, I'm 41, so y'all can tell my age and stuff. But Sex in the City,
I
Friends,
didn't watch those
all
shows.
those shows. Hmm?
I didn't watch those. Only one I watched was Queen Latifah.
Yeah, Living Single.
Yeah.
Love Living Single. Living Single is what inspired Friends. Living Single was doing really well in the black market, and then they created Friends with the same concept and put it on the same night as Living Single. Look it up if you've ever done TV production history. I've found that to be really intriguing. So we're gonna do a quick commercial break. I want y'all to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, check out merch, check out the website, check out the blog, give us feedback, share. And if you're catching this on the replay, I want you to know we truly appreciate you because this is a hour out our day where we're talking about things that they're important to us, but we share and reveal our personal stories. And we're not calling names out here. Some of us want to sometimes, but I'm trying to behave today.
Also, ladies, since we're talking about sisters, don't forget it's the Black Women Expo going on all weekend, starting tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Ooh, it starts tomorrow. That's right. It's Friday. It's about to be Friday. All right. So, what I also want us to do and wrap up. I mean, we can talk about how far we got. I can't wait for Kira to come on, and hopefully she'll get a chance to watch this before next Thursdays. But I want to encourage y'all to check out what is it? My Black is Beautiful. Is that a nonprofit campaign? I know it was like Dove or something, but I really want y'all to go ahead and seek out any nonprofit that is in your local community that allows you to be a mentor, whether it's Big Brothers, Big Sisters, um, something. Just look into a little something where you can help someone younger than you or in a different socioeconomic place than you. But let's show each other that love. Find those nonprofits where they've got all the coordination ready for you, or maybe you don't even want to go through a nonprofit. You see a young child or a teenager who is in your neighborhood who's struggling or is missing some guidance that they're not going to hear from their mama because they don't like their mama, or they don't like their sister, or they don't like somebody in their life. Take them under your wing and just give them, take them to coffee, give them a little advice. And I just want this podcast to really help us grow to a place where we're not complaining that we don't know where the sisterly love is at, or we're tired of hearing the word messy, or we're tired of hearing about how we're in the wrong when we're like, I did everything I possibly could, and now I'm filing a restraining order. Why are you mad at me? You
So
know?
true. Reach one, teach one.
Yeah. So Black Women's Expo this weekend. And how do you think we did, Tai Tai? Like our debrief, what should we really hone in on as far as what we want people to get out of today's conversation?
How to be a genuine friend. Um, and those that's on the opposite side, how to see the signs that if supposed to be in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, ask God to open up your discernment because discernment means a lot. So
Mhm.
pay attention to your discernment. That's what I'm saying. Because I ignored all the signs of mine.
Mhm. We've all been there. I've
But
definitely
I'll be
ignored
back on
some.
track next week.
Yes. Um, and I'm going to reiterate Tai Tai's quote of the night. If you're going to be a friend, then do that. If not, kick rocks, y'all. Kick rocks. So for me, I definitely agree with be an authentic friend. But I'll also say that I hope what you get from this is grace is not getting stepped on. And it's not an easy balancing act. But I hope that you understand sisterly love means that you can love someone from afar. I think that's what I'm gathering as well is I can love somebody from afar. I don't always have to be the person ready and willing to be there for you if I'm truly setting the proper boundaries that I need to set, right?
Right.
So I hope y'all are having a great night. My kids got to eat dinner, but I didn't get to taste the pasta. So I'm about to go taste some pasta. Um, Black Women's Expo. Visit Tai Tai. She's volunteering this weekend. Find her. I'm not going to tell you what day or whatever. You just go whatever day. And if you see her, you see her. Take a picture. She's going to look cute. I know it. So I love you, Tai Tai. Thank you for coming
Love
on.
you too. No
Thank you for all your
problem.
support and advice. And we're here for y'all. So leave some messages, comments. I promise you, I'll take a beat. I'll sleep on it overnight before I get offended if you had something spicy to say to me.
It may say something to me.
We'll welcome it. All right. Have a great night, y'all.
All right.
Now it's gonna be a slow end. This computer ain't acting right, but I'm pressing end broadcast to see how it goes. Today, computer, today. Good night, y'all on Facebook. Thank you. I went all the way with the behind the scenes because it's our second episode. No, first episode because we changed the topic. So have a great night. I didn't even get to Instagram. I keep clicking end broadcast and it keeps not doing it.
What was that, Jules?
Where earlier?
No,
Yeah.
behind you. Like
Nobody.
he was waiting.
No, he's not.
Oh, I thought he came upstairs. I'm like,